servant of violence. Our plan was a success, although I hardly need to tell you that. Hegemony has been sealed away, and now you have no choice but to admit the merit of our methods. You have the right of it. I am not so petty as to deny the achievements of those I've squabbled with, no matter how strongly we disagree. Moreover, this being, ether as thin as retreating mist, unable to wield creation magics, yet powerful enough to subdue a Hemitheos, has made this ordeal far more interesting. Then we have leave to continue. As for that, there is one among you whose very presence puts the others at risk. 'Tis would be best to proceed without him, for failure would have consequences that reach far beyond pandemonium. Of whom do you speak? A warder who cannot even conduct his duty without aid in this place, hope alone? In this place, hope alone is not enough to overcome what awaits you. A single misstep will send you all to their doom. I'd rather put my faith in you than him. Wow. So I'm gonna say, so long as we each do our part, look to the allies by our side. Even a Neotharmy can uprise his companions. That's something that Ronald and Themis taught me. I really don't know half these things. While I do not wish to express any bias, I am inclined to agree. If my investigation has made anything that we are together greater than the sums of its parts. And hope has brought us this far. It drives us to seek the right path, and to act before that path lies closed to us. Then tell me, what is it you hope for? To see how it changes. That's the shortest way to prevent further sacrifices. That is not what you want, and you know it. I'm aware that destroying pandemonium would rid us of him, but the cost is far too great. And I admit, I wish to know what he means. How he means to resurrect Athena. And there we have it. You must leave this place at once, and do not think to set foot in pandemonium again. What's wrong? Afraid your little secrets will get out? You are capable. That much is plain. That habaneros cannot be suffered to live, and I shall not allow his talk of resurrection to poison mine or anyone else's mind. Life flows in a cycle, this is known. All souls return to the underworld, and Athena's is no exception. She has likely found a new vessel and a new journey to embark upon. You cannot be ignorant to the folly of Hephaestus' words. Even were he to breathe life into a body, the soul contained within will not be your mother's. What if our knowledge is imperfect? What if he has discovered something that no one else has? He knows all that you do, understands the bitter reality of the world. He wouldn't pursue the impossible? Think, Eric. I have already explained that he is merely my twisted reflection. Is it worth bringing back your mother if it means others are used and discarded like tools? Is it worth it to see her once more? Now you measure the worth of your colleagues' lives. What was that foolish braying about saving them? Merely a performance to hide your childish devotion to your mother. Please, such bars will get us nowhere. We should first discuss. You would call me fool? You who murdered your wife in service of your ambition. For the sake of the star, no doubt. I can hear it again. That voice inside my head. I know who to follow. Theodore's father. Mother, oh, I love you. And this voice will guide me to you. No. No, listen not. Listen not, Eric. That's the voice of his mother. Apologies, you taught me that a calm heart stays the course, but I could never ever grasp the rudder. Well, family affairs. Wonderful, weren't they? You people gotta stop dragging me into your affairs. Your little family nonsense and cunning despite his warped mind. Whatever took hold of Eric, it made short work of his reason. From the moment he laid eyes upon me, I could sense his hatred or rage simmering from below the surface. 'Twas but a matter of time until it spilled forth, and that was when he fell into the spell's embrace. A magic woven with such skill that Eric himself failed to notice until it was too late. If this is the measure of Abyssos' power, then the other keywords had little chance to resist. We saw his work during our encounter with his pharaohs. Doubtless his magic fed his admiration and envy until there was room for naught else in his heart. And there was something else besides. Do you not feel the presence of another? Did you not feel the presence of another? As I thought, someone was trying to warn Eric. By whom? Could it have been one of the keywords? Alas, their warning arrived too late. I had already provoked Eric past the point of no return. I bear the burden for this failure. In my stubbornness, I could but scorn the boy, and Abyssos knew that. And now I dread to think of the ordeal that awaits him due to my rashness. There is time yet to save him. We can easily regain control of Abyssos, giving us a firm foothold to which to brave Pandemonium's lowest level. The enemy is within reach. Just as with it, Hesperos, Eric is in danger of being consumed by his spell. However, I have faith that he will not easily lose sight of himself. The way forward is clear, Lalafell. Pray tell us all you know of what we shall find beyond Abyssos. I can only assume one more keyword lies in wait. The deepest level of Pandemonium is called Tartarus, and your passage shall be challenged not only by a keyword, but has laid traps in every corner of its halls. You have no hope of surviving far past the threshold. That, I expect, is where Ronald shall his desolate ether shall allow him to slip through the traps unimpeded. You saw what had no effect, and doubtless even he has yet to devise a countermeasure. And time is of the essence. I'm gonna call him Hep. Hep is already well aware that you can match a keyword in battle. He will not stand idle while you stroll past his other defenses at your leisure. Agreed, however. Clarity will be indispensable to our success, and I'm afraid I must insist upon it ere we depart. I'm like, what? Oh, is this happening? We have yet to discern to what end Hep would use Eric. If you know, I would ask that you enlighten us. And then there is the matter of Athena. Why do you so fiercely rebuke Eric's feelings for his mother? Well, I understand the very thought of resurrecting the dead is enemy and anathema. You act as if grief over her passing should be equally so. How are we to grapple with what plagues our friend and drive our foe if you refuse to acknowledge it? I do acknowledge it. I only wish to spare those that feel it still greater pain. So instead of being honest, you bicker like a So instead of being honest, you bicker like a child. Because I'm starting to see a pattern with everybody here. How dare you? No, you are right. The blame of Eric's fate rests squarely on my shoulders. Very well, I shall lay bare the truth, but only after the foe before us has been laid low. The remaining keyword is Agdias. She has served in Pandemonium since its inception, and her affinity for magic is peerless even among the keywords. Hep knows that losing her would mean the end of his experiments. He has hidden her in a space unreachable by conventional means. But your presence makes mockery of such barriers. The scarcity of your ether means it would be trivial to send you directly to Agdias. We shall approach as closely as caution will allow. We know where the battle will commence, so I do not anticipate difficulty in detecting your presence. From afar, I shall do my best to provide you with ground on which to fight and phantomize the age. As for the intermit, I have yet to think of a foolproof method. Intermit shall not be necessary. From here, I can sense Agnes' essence, but it is scarcely recognizable. Was more ambitious with her than he was with Hagmenon. She has been transfigured such that barely a scantling of herself remains. We can but take him for that. And what a mercy the underworld will be to her. The seventh circle. That's really... That's something circle. Oh, I want these in my house. These lights. Well, we found the tree. It's shown trailer. Oh! Nope! Nope! Nope, I don't want to be here. Nope, I'm out. No. 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 I'm out. No. No. I don't want to find the... I don't want to be... I don't want to see the tree now. I don't want to be the tree. I don't want to see the tree. I'm done. This just got disturbing. That's... What in the world? No. Nope. I'm out. This is too messed up. No. Over the edge I go. No. 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 This is... No. Oh. This is wrong. This whole thing. This, I was fine with the last one. Yeah, we found the tree fight, but... What the... Oh! Okay. Get out of the way, go to the other side. And that's just my investment. Well, no. Oh. Okay. I didn't push more buttons. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Perhaps you require more rooms for heroics. Not really. Okay. This is insane. I don't even know where to start when it comes to trying to talk about the savage part of this. Well, this is probably what the field will actually be the whole time. It'll just be these three problems. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Ow. Lead me to my research or become. You know what this reminds me of? What is it called? Eden. Leviathan. Yeah. Like every time the platform was destroyed, like rain would actually just bring it, try to build it back up. Oh. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, goodbye. Platform review. Well, we mostly know the mechanics now, so... I can't even... Something. I can't even. I would have had it. I would have had the whole mechanic except for that part. Which are probably not. I'm so glad it's my first time. Woohoo. Well, now I definitely can't use, what you call it. I mean, I've seen them do like 3 or 4 different things at once, so I never know what they are. Well, at least I'm on the platform. I'm not gonna enjoy this fight. I'm going savage. That was a train wreck for me. And I did. Please let me have this. I don't want to do this again. I do not want to farm this one. This is the bad one. Yeah, I can tell. This is gonna be the This is gonna be the gatekeeper. The moment Idris was slain, the flow of ether and pandemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts, through which we could quickly convey ourselves. It is almost as if we were ushered here. The space was created with care and concealed with powerful wards. Only a key ward would have been able to detect it, even then with great difficulty. Ergo, if only I could restore Tartaros to order, but I'm afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It has been too long, Master Lalafell. Likewise, keyword, I guess. I should not be surprised you were able to break free of Hep's spells, even diminished as you were. It's not an easy task, even with your aid. His curses dig into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by chance did a fragment of myself remain, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus am I able to appear before you now, even while my body was powerless to resist Hef's commands. Some small part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance. It even managed to speak to the outside world. The report, that was you. Doubtless you recognize my voice from the many times I have called out to you. The hope that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to hopelessness. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There is something you must know, that the tragedies of the past do not repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, Master Lauer, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hef's fixation on Eric. No longer can you hide your heart away. Yeah, no, the mask marks him as Lalafell. Master Lalafell had brought an end to Lady Athena's life, sealed away a part of his memories and emotions within him. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Eric? My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. We would be wise to do the same with our memory to this day. Blood should not sway the spirit so, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would soon see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Eric believes that he feels love, but he is shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependence makes it all the more important to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? If that is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with hatred than the knowledge that Athena thought his body and soul were mere tools to be used and discarded. Even were I to tell him what his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me or with him. Should he merely hate me, I will remain unfeathered by doubt, free to serve the star far from his parents' shadows. Wait. What? Are you trying to say you are not the father? I'm sorry, I thought we were playing 14, not on a show of... I thought we were doing a raid, not playing Murray or Jerry Springer at this point. Eric loved his mother more than life itself. Yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is Lalafell's nature. Every action, every word, a solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a large picture. I shall leave it to Lalafell to paint the rest for you, and for Eric, I hope. Thank you, Abyssos. Look, I signed up for a raid. I didn't sign up for all this Jerry Springer or Murray nonsense or like whatever other show. I don't. There's like a billion of them that I can't even think off the top of my head. But I always admired you. You know, what choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? Ed has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the service before he moves to strike us here. Oh, he won't. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. Ernest was ever a bold woman, even in her final moments, that she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still, full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I could think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. They're starting to act like what's like the actual Mahabharata we know.